Well, obviously, it goes without saying that that was just a terribly disappointing loss. I feel especially bad for our seniors who, hadn't beat that team. And there's really not much more to say than that. We struggled to get off the field on defense, and we struggled to sustain anything on offense. And that's a really good football team, and we've got to figure a way to close the gap.
Jim, what is it about Stanford and the way they play that seems to give you guys so much trouble?
Well, this is probably the worst they beat us in the 4 games we played them. They're just big and they're physical, and I thought we'd close the gap, and we've still got work to do. So we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to work hard on getting bigger and faster and stronger and more physical, and recruiting the types of athletes that that we think can help us win those types of games, and that's what we've got to do.
Jim, over here, these being college kids, any possibility of a hangover from last week?
I don't think so. We had an amazing week of practice. We came out, we got them off the field on defense, we scored on offense. Those aren't indications of a hangover to me.
Jim, what is it that makes up that gap that you're talking about, especially in these, especially big games, against Stanford or Oregon?
Well, we've got to get, first of all, as you guys know, we are an extremely young football team, extremely, and we have 6, I don't know how many seniors were out there for senior day, but there were 6 scholarship seniors out there today. So we are very young, and so we are still developing, and we will get there, but we are just not there yet physically, and they've been doing what they've been doing longer than we've been doing what we've been doing. They've been recruiting the types of athletes that fit their profile longer than we've been recruiting the types of athletes that fit our profile. And these aren't excuses, these are just facts. So we've got to continue to do what we're doing because we're making headway. It doesn't reflect in the score today, but I'm talking about as a football team. We are getting better as a football team. We're becoming more like what I want us to be, which is a physical team, but we're not there yet. And so we've just got to continue to work at getting the types of players and coaching them the way they're supposed to be coached and being demanding and closing the gap.
What did you think were the biggest issues in creating pressure on Hogan?
Well, we missed him too many times. Not enough 3rd and longs. They were in 7-man slide protection most of the game. So when you can rush 4 and it's tough to get there. You can rush 5 and it's tough to get there. When they're in 7-man slide, you have to bring 8 to have an extra guy, and that's playing with fire all the time. You can't do that all game. We tried man, we tried zone, we rushed 4, we rushed 5, we rushed 6. We had him a couple times. He's big and he's strong and he's physical and he got away. We just couldn't get him to the ground.
You talked a lot before the season about striving for great rather than good. How do you gauge that kind of progress at this point?
Well, it's a constant. It never stops. You're always striving to be better. That's what we do. That's our profession. No matter what you accomplish, you're trying to accomplish more. So, we're not there yet. We're not playing in the Pac-12 championship game. So, we're still good. We're pretty good, and we're going to keep getting better. Like I've said many times, we're on the right path. We've got to just keep going in this direction. We're recruiting the right kinds of athletes, student athletes, and we're making progress. And this group of seniors did a lot of good things. This group of seniors that played their last game today here is the first group of seniors that ever won 9 games, regular season games in a row. They have a chance to go to a bowl and win a 10th game. They beat USC 3 times in a row. They've accomplished a lot. It's just that's why it's so disappointing because, all of that gets overshadowed when you go out and you play like this in a big game like this. People tend to forget about all the great things those young men have accomplished, and that's why it hurt. It's one of the reasons that it hurts so bad.
Brett seems to have had trouble against them pretty much every time out. What did you see out of him today, especially against that Stanford defense?
Well, they got pressure on him, and it's always hard when they get pressure. They're big and they're physical and they stay square and they get off blocks well. They make it hard to run the football, and so the pressure affected him. And at the end, he was fighting through the finger injury, and he just couldn't throw the ball anymore.